one drop at a time. That's us. Hey, we are here to, we have a theme we're so excited about. We've been thinking about it for a month, and for better or for worse, we're going to share what we have come across. So our theme we're taking from a talk by President Nelson called "The Lord Jesus Christ Will Come Again," which was October 24 General Conference. And this cute Relief Society president was talking to us, and she says in her ward, she's having the theme "The Best Is Yet to Come," and she took it from President Nelson's talk, and it's like the second or third to the last paragraph, and he's like, "The best is yet to come because of this. The best is yet to come because of that." He says it 3 times. So it's just such an inspirational way of looking at the second coming, because he's talking about the name of the talk is "The Lord Jesus Christ Will Come Again."
Yeah.
So we decided to kind of pool all the positive things that we could think of about the second coming, and so we're going to talk about both kind of the macro picture of the scriptures, and then also like the personal internal thing of how do we really begin to believe that the best is yet to come instead of being afraid of the second coming.
And I love that, because President Nelson has said a lot of wonderful things that I think we can look forward to. I mean, he's encouraged us to look for miracles. We're seeing the miracles, and we can expect more miracles to come, bigger and better than we've ever seen in the history of the world. I mean, that's exciting. We have Zion to look forward to, a people who are one heart and one mind, and there are no poor among them. Mm-hmm. People that love each other and can see each other for who they really are, not just what they see in mortality. A transparent world, which again is that same thing. We see each other for who we really are, and we're not stagnant by the place we're at right now. There's so many beautiful things to look forward to.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to look forward to the beautiful things when we're in the mire, right?
Well, and also, I mean, it's like the second coming is famous for all bad things: pestilence, earthquakes, wars. The hearts of men will be cold. Mankind,
Pride,
I mean, just everything that nobody wants to live amongst. That's what the second coming is famous for. But there's other things that we can talk about that will help us to feel confident. So Jenny's going to tell a story about her a personal like hurdle that she overcame, like she kind of got set free a little bit with this revelation that she received. So we're going to talk about that, and so we'll talk about how things affect us personally, and then we'll talk about kind of the big picture.
And I just want you to know beforehand, hey, we're all in the same place. We're in this together. So we have each other to lean on. We welcome any comments, any suggestions, any whatever. Insights. We're in this together. Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting story. Years ago, I got released from the Relief Society presidency, and it's been years. It's got to have been at least 10 years, right?
This is how we got to be friends. Yeah. The Relief Society. We were both in it. Anyways, we weren't the president. We didn't do all the hard stuff.
No, we got to plan all the fun things, and we tried anyways.
We had a fun time. Yes, we did.
And I remember sitting on the porch that day. I'd been released, and when you have a calling, you feel the mantle of that calling. I don't know if we've talked about that before, but you have a special blessing to be able to carry this calling and perform it to the best of your ability, and to have the Savior's help to do that, to serve other people. And when you're released, it is an actual physical release feeling that you feel. The responsibility goes away. Sometimes, you have a calling as a bishop, and you have all the answers, and when you're released, all of a sudden the answers aren't there anymore, and it's time to go to the new bishop. It's just that mantle of that calling. And I remember feeling the release of not having that calling anymore. And I was sitting there on the front porch just thinking about it. And I had this feeling, and it was the best I can explain was like a deja vu feeling. Like I'd felt it before, but I'd not ever felt it before. And I've never felt it since. Maybe I have felt it since doing that talk.
Mm,
But
yeah.
the words came into my mind, you're not going to go to church for a while. And I was the star church girl. Like I went to everything. I went to every single activity. I never missed a Sunday. Stayed for the full 3 hours. It was the 3 hour whatever back then. And so I just thought, I actually said out loud, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like that's so dumb. I can't even believe I'd be thinking that. And then time passed. And oftentimes the Lord will prepare us for something years in advance. It's
Yes.
not just a,
So true.
hey, I'm turning the corner and a week later, I'm not going to be going to church, But 2020 happened. And prior to 2020, I'd kind of had a little bit of a rough go on my testimony. I knew that the Book of Mormon was true. I could never deny that. I knew I believed in God and I believed in Jesus Christ. I believed Joseph was a prophet, but at the time I really wasn't getting anything out of church. And so that was my dilemma. Why am I continually going to church, but I'm not feeling edified or uplifted? And so I was kind of pulling away. I wasn't not going to church. I did not ever quit going to church 100%. But there were weeks that I didn't go. I justify it. I tell myself, I've got a lot of orders I have to do, so I'm going to work that day. And I'd spend the time in my kitchen. Now I'd spend it listening to contemporary Christian music, and sometimes I would listen to talks. But I was going down this road that was different for me. And I remember hearing President Nelson's talk in 2018, I think it was. He prayed that we would have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And that just, I almost kind of feel like that was a trigger for me because something changed. This, I got to thinking about it. What am I not seeing? And what am I not hearing? What is it? And a few things happened during this time where I thought, I need to find the Lord. I need him in my life. And not like I've had him in my life before, where I've gone to church and I've had warm and fuzzy feelings, and then I go home and, okay, we're done. It was, I need to know him personally. Like, I need to have him in my life. And at the time, a friend of mine, her son, had dedicated their company to the Lord. And so I remember walking home from work and telling the Lord, I need to give you this business. I'm giving you my business. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to find you. And if this helps me, here's my business. It's yours. What do I need to do? And over a period of time, it was a lot of things I needed to do. The number one thing was I needed to really learn as much as I could. I need to get back to what I knew I should have been doing, which was reading the scriptures every day, learning about him every day, inviting him in my life every day, praying every day. Um, it was giving up. I remember telling him, okay, I'm done working on Sunday. I know you want me to keep the Sabbath day holy. So I will keep it holy. I'll go to church. I'll think about what I'm doing at church and partaking of the sacrament. So it's not just something I'm going through the motions through. I'll contemplate my testimony, every fast and testimony thing. I just really thought the change has to happen for me to go back to church. I need to find the Lord at church.
Jenny, where was COVID in this? Because we all had kind of this period, but
Yeah.
yours was different. Yours was
Well, I think it had to have been a little bit after COVID, or maybe even partly before COVID. I was going to church. I was teaching gospel doctrine at the time. So I was there. So I think it was a little bit after COVID when maybe 2020, maybe even 2021, I'd been doing my class at church, and then 2020 happened and everything shut down. Like we didn't go to church for a while. I didn't have the opportunity to partake of the sacrament, nothing.
because she doesn't have that at home.
Yeah, because I don't have the priesthood.
Yeah, so
So 2020,
It would have been 2021.
it would have been
Mid
2021.
2021.
And then 2018, though, is when I started thinking, okay, I need to start listening to more talks. But the going back to church, when people started going back to the church, I didn't. Like it was a place where I could say, I either go back or I don't. And if I don't, I'm not sure anyone cares if I'm there or not. I had to decide for myself, why am I going back? What do I need to do to go back? And at that point, the Lord said, you need to go back.
Which is such a great, I mean, because Jenny's going, she goes. Nobody makes her go, and she doesn't have to take anybody.
Yeah.
So it's a personal, it's like, it's just Jenny. And I'm sure that there's lots of people in that position where, it's like when you have your kids, you take your kids. And if you have somebody else that wants you to go, you go with them. But when it's just only that's
Yeah.
deciding, I want to go, that's
And
interesting.
it was challenging because Kristen's right. Paul wasn't going to church and isn't going to church. My children have pulled away from the church. So it could be very easy for me to pull away from the church. And so I had this conversation with my daughter, and I said, and this is recently because I did write a little experience down of my testimony of, my my little bit of shaking with faith. And I said, Ashley, did I choose to not go because I didn't have a testimony, or because I remember at the time thinking, I can't walk away because I do believe in God and I do believe in the Book of Mormon. I'll never turn away from the Book of Mormon. I have a very strong testimony of the Book of Mormon. And I think my challenge at the time, and maybe not even going, was I was looking at the word and thinking, maybe I'm struggling with the not even the gospel. Maybe it was a challenge of, am I struggling with going to church because maybe nobody really cares if I go or not? It's easy to be forgotten when chaos is happening around you and COVID-19 is going on. There's nobody that can volunteer the sacrament to me. Um, if I just disappear, nobody's going to care anyways, was probably my biggest thought.
It's like a spiritual suicidal feeling, honestly.
Well, and I think that I'm not alone in that feeling. I think
so.
a lot of us feel we want to be accepted and we want to be loved, and
needed.
everybody feels that way. So when you go to church, if you're sitting back waiting for somebody else, the other person's feeling the same way. I wonder why she's not making an effort to say hello to me. We're all kind of in the same boat. But for me, I had to learn to go for the Lord. He was the reason why I was going. And then from that place, I could branch out and reach out to people and start sitting with people and start making it not just about me, but making it about
That's
other
so
people.
brilliant. You go for the Lord. I love that so much.
Yeah. And
so great.
But during this whole process of pulling away and feeling this urgency and need to find the Lord, it was a daily struggle, I think. I mean, I'm 4 years past that. I'm 4 years past that right now, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that I can have this relationship with him. That we talk every day. It's completely different than what it was 4 years ago. But the 4 years ago was a pivotal point for me because I had to do something about where I was. I couldn't just say, yeah, I believe in the church. I'm going to go. I'm going to keep going through the motions like I have been all this time. In order to build this relationship with him, I had to make the choice to say, I want to do what you want me to do. And if that means going to church, for the first year, I would just go. I'd go, I'd stay in all the classes, I'd bear my testimony, I'd try and say, what I felt inspired to say. And then the second year came along, and now he's like, okay, now I want you to find people to sit by in sacrament. Spread that around, spread that love and encouragement around, because these people also need someone to sit by. It's like he's trying to level me up.
Mhm.
But
Like,
this,
good job, Jenny. Okay, next
yeah,
assignment.
yeah, here's the next. But this is all part of finding him and part of moving into this environment where we can be a Zion people. We have to learn to love him and then through him love each other.
Will you talk about how you talk about your having whatever kind of relationship that I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
And maybe we've talked about this before, but this is one of my favorite Jenny
Yeah,
experiences.
I it's interesting because I have a few friends and the Lord sometimes shows us things to help us to grow, not to condemn or throw anybody under the bus, but we get to learn by what we see with this unconditional love. And I have this one friend, she and her and I are great friends. She reminds me that she closes the bar down every Saturday prior to going to church on Sunday. And one day she stood up and sat in Sunday school and she or Relief Society, and she said, "Listen, I just want you to know, I'm not leaving the church. Yes, I have a problem with smoking, and yes, I have a problem with drinking, but I'm not leaving the church. I'm going to continue to go every week, and I'm okay with that. The Lord knows me." And I remember thinking,
So
just this,
courageous, really, to say,
it really
you
is.
guys just relax. I'm doing the best I
Yep.
can.
And this is what church is for.
So
Church is for all of
awesome.
us because we're all broken in different ways. And some of us are broken in ways that you can't see. Some of us are broken in ways that you can, but we're all broken. And that's why we need the church and we need each other. But I remember thinking at the time that this picture came to my mind of this Jesus way in the distance, like way far away in the clouds. There's a Jesus right out there. And maybe he's in the shape of the sun. Maybe that is the Jesus that we want to worship. And I remember telling the Lord at that time, can I have that kind of a relationship with you? Or can I have the kind of a relationship that the brother of Jared had, where I actually got to see God's finger touching stones? Can I have that kind of relationship? And I remember the Lord telling me, look, I will take whatever you are willing to give me. If you want to have me be that Jesus clear in the distance that doesn't really give you as much warmth as maybe if you were closer, I will take that. I will take that. But I will also take being right here and present with you. As much as you want me, I want you more. So you can have whatever kind of relationship you want with me. And I appreciate that because I remember Paul having a friend who, man, he was reckless. He was the driver for the getaway car for bank robbers. He was a drug dealer. He had a lot of issues. And then last year he got sick. And during the sickness, he started thinking about Jesus and started contemplating and maybe even worrying about it a little bit. And that night he had a dream. And in the dream, Jesus came to him and said, "Look, Matt, I just want you to know you're okay with me. You and I are okay. And I have a place for you." He has a place for all of his children. It really depends on what we want. If we want that distant, I can see you and I'm okay with that, he has a place for us. If we want that finger, if we want him to be a part of our life all the time, we have that. We can have it. We can have whatever we want. We just have to seek after it. We have to want it and we have to go for it.
Want it and go.
Want it and go for it. We gotta decide what we want. I mean, we can have whatever kind of relationship we want with them. If we want the relationship where, look, I'm going to be a member of the church, but I'm going to drink coffee sometimes, and sometimes I'm going to go to the bar, and sometimes, whatever, he'll take that relationship. That relationship, however distant we want to keep him, But the second we're willing to open that door, he's going to be right here. He wants that deep, personal relationship with every single one of us. We're all spirit beings. We're all spirit children.
Right.
And he has to give us our free agency. So he'll be right here, or he'll be right here.
Yeah. Have you ever, like, you walk up to someone and you want to give them a hug, but you have to decide, do they want me to give them a hug? You kind of feeling out the situation, and the Lord's always in that position. If somebody comes with their arms open wide and running to tackle him, he knows what they want. But sometimes we kind of draw back. I don't know why we do that.
Well, it's that, again, it's the famous picture of Jesus Christ standing at the door. And he's literally, all you have to do is open the door. You have to make the effort and open that door. But once you open that door, he's in.
Yeah.
But we have to choose.
Nothing is holding him back from that.
Except for us. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up this little talk. So we're going to go back to Jenny's story as we talk about the last days and realize that what we get is dependent on what we want.
Yeah.
So we there's the whole world, everybody's picking what they want right now. This is the standing in the valley of decision, right? Yeah. Multitudes and multitudes are deciding, do I want to give up my priorities and throw myself in with Christ on his team? Or does that thwart me? Does that make me feel less than or something? Or do I want to go against Christ and his team? So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk to you later.
Well, I'm going to just say, I got to.
Oh yeah, you can wrap up.
I got to wrap it up with one, maybe two thoughts. The first one is, we're not perfect. You can look at me, and maybe I am in a position where I'm trying to teach you something that I have learned. But man, I've got all kinds of problems. I do. Kristen has all kinds of problems. I don't see what they are. She's practically perfect in my eyes. But the point is, we all have problems. But the Lord wants to meet us where we are. He will take us right where we're at. So that's important to remember. The second thing that I think about this experience, this is the beginning of my journey. Now, was I with the Lord before this journey? Absolutely. He was able to manipulate and use me and work me towards where I was at that particular point, to be open for this new experience. The last thing is, I think about this comparison of, here President Nelson is saying, Jesus is coming. And I look at the 10 virgins, and this is at a place where now I hear he's coming. I know he's coming. I'm waking up. I'm waking up from my slumber that I've been slumbering for the past however many years. He's calling us to action. This is the time we need to wake up, and we need to take action. We need to move towards this relationship with him. We need to make sure we've got enough oil in our lamps.
Yeah. Get up and start help the Lord.
All right, you guys. See you next time.